Hi there friends, if you're new to my channel, my name is Nicole and I'm here today to share with you my top 10 favorite musical theater songs of all time, subject to change. So I fully realize right now that these are like my favorite songs of the week. It could honestly be different next week, but I wanted to do this mostly because I would love it if you guys would leave in the comments what your top 10 favorite songs or like a top few of your favorite songs from any musical ever are. Now, I did make myself one rule, and that was that I was limited to one song per musical, just because I was afraid that this was going to be like half Hamilton, half Miss Saigon. So I told myself only one song per show, and that's kind of where I went from. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. My first favorite songs, and these aren't in order, I've just numbered them so I can keep track, but my first is Why God Why from Miss Saigon. Now, I love Miss Saigon. It's probably at least in my top 3 favorite shows of all time. Sometimes it takes the top spot, but I think that Why God Why is one of the best male solos of all time, and not just because Alistair Branner sings it on the cast album. I think it's really beautiful, both just musically, but also in terms of story arc. Like, I think it's such a great character building song. I love the character of Chris so much. I think he's so fascinating, and I think that so much of his motivation comes from the song Why God Why. And I just think I sing it all the time. My neighbors are probably sick of hearing me sing it in the shower. My number 2 favorite song is quite different, and it's Whoa Mama from Bright Star. If you don't know, Bright Star was on Broadway a couple of seasons ago. It's currently on a US tour. I'm seeing it in a couple of weeks and I'm so excited. And it is a kind of bluegrassy musical set in North Carolina, where I'm from, so love it because of that. But Whoa Mama is the most fun song. It's sung by Paul Alexander Nolan and Carmen Cusack, both of whom I love, and it's basically one of the characters telling the other character that he's not interested in her, but that other guys will be, which sounds funny, but it's very much along the lines of like, people will say we're in love or something like that. One of those like kind of jokey songs about like, calm down, I'm not into you, which of course he is in the show. But it's so fun, and also I really have really fond memories of it because the summer that I lived in New York, whenever I was interning there, my roommates and I would always play this song and dance to it and sing. We probably annoyed everyone else, but it's such a fun song. Like, also, if you listen to it while you're walking down the street, you kind of can't help but strut a little bit. Like, it's got a good rhythm. It's got a good rhythm. My number 3 favorite song is Labyrinth from The Grinning Man. If you know me, you're probably wondering when The Grinning Man was going to show up, and it's already here. We decided to get it out of the way. I love Labyrinth. I think it's my favorite song in the show. It's probably between that and Beauty and the Beast, both of which are great songs, but Labyrinth is such a cool song. Obviously, a theme in this list is actually that I'm really into male solos, apparently. I think that comes from the fact that I have quite a lower singing voice for a woman. I like can't even quite get a full alto range, and so I tend to sing a lot of male songs, but I just think Labyrinth is such a cool song. It's so cool and different musically while still being like somewhat of a normal ballad, I guess, but I just think, again, it's one of those things where I love the music of it, but I also think it's a really cool story building, character building piece. The next one is, unsurprisingly, from the last 5 years. Now, this was the show that actually gave me the most trouble because I was really torn between a couple of different songs because, like, if I made a top 50 musical theater songs of all time list that I allowed, you know, songs from the same musical, at least a good 7 or 8 would probably be from the last 5 years, but I decided to go with If I Didn't Believe in You, which is one of Jamie's solos. It's just a beautiful song. I really think it's at the heart of why Jamie is one of my favorite characters of all time. It's at the heart of why I prefer Jamie to Kathy. But I just think it's a stunning song. If you've not heard it, go listen to Jeremy Jordan sing it in the film. And it's brilliant. I don't know how that wouldn't win you over to the song. It's a really nice piece. Like, again, musically, just like even an instrumental version of it I really love, but also like the sentiment behind the song and the idea that for Jamie to love someone is to support them and believe in them and believe in their dream as well. I just really love that. I really love that whole idea. Number 5, Hamilton finally shows up, and my favorite song is Hurricane. I love Hurricane. I think it's one of the most underrated songs in the whole show. I think it's such a neat piece. I love how it fits into the rest of the narrative of Hamilton. The other thing is Hurricane has one of my favorite lines in the whole show in it, which is the, and when my prayers to God were met with indifference, I picked up a pen, I wrote my own deliverance. I also sometimes wonder if Hurricane is very personal for Lin-Manuel Miranda, because obviously, like, as a writer himself and as someone who has written himself to what he has now. But also, I guess, I always wanted to be a writer growing up, and now I am a writer for Broadway World UK. Not the kind of writer I thought that I would be, but I also, am a writer for my own blog, and I am a writer in terms of the fact that I did a history dissertation. I studied history in undergrad and obviously did a lot of writing with that, and now I'm about to embark on my next dissertation. So in some ways I do feel like I've written my way to a lot of where I am. And so I guess I identify with that in a way, but also it's just, the music of it is really beautiful. Number 6 is a song from Les Mis, and I started with this one a bit, but I decided my favorite is, and I know this is kind of 2 songs, but on most track listing it is 1 song with like the, not hyphenated, but the, slash in between the titles, which is the In My Life, A Heart Full of Love. I really love Cosette's first bit in My Life. One of my favorite lines, again, in the whole show is and it sings of a world that I long to see, far away, just to whisper away, waiting for me. Like, that sounds really weird whenever you say it out loud, not sung. But I really love that part. Cosette and Marius are my favorite characters in Les Mis, but whenever I first discovered Les Mis, Eponine was definitely my favorite character, so of course I love A Heart Full of Love, because it has all 3 of them in it. I think also, I always think about the London staging of it, where Eponine and Cosette at times are like mirrored with each other through the gate, which I think is so cool and such a neat commentary on kind of the fact that they've switched places from where they were as children. I think it's so lovely. A Heart Full of Love is such a sweet, pure, good love song. Though it's like tempered with Eponine's bit, which is really heartbreaking. Like, all of Eponine's lines in that are just like stabbing myself repeatedly in the chest. So I just really love that. Sounds weird. Just really love stabbing myself repeatedly in the chest with lyrics. Okay, I moved the camera a little bit because I felt it was a little bit off, so sorry if that changed. My next 2 are both Andrew Lloyd Webber songs, which I didn't plan actually, but it happened. And the first one is Evermore Without You from The Woman in White. Evermore Without You is a beautiful, beautiful male solo that the character Walter sings. Recently I saw Ashley Stillburn in the role and he just absolutely nailed it. It's a beautiful song. It kind of cracks me up because it is actually quite similar to Evermore from the new live-action Beauty and the Beast film. Kind of feel like they were, ripping that off. But Evermore Without You is basically Walter's song whenever he thinks that Laura, the love of his life, is lost to him forever. And it's heartbreaking and beautiful and just very much the epitome of Andrew Lloyd Webber music. And I just love it so much. I could listen to it on repeat for hours, I think, honestly. The next one is from Phantom of the Opera, and it's actually the Twisted Every Way bit. The Twisted Every Way, whenever they're trying to convince Christine to do the Phantom's Opera, is my favorite part in all of Phantom of the Opera. Wandering Child does come close after that, but I really love Twisted Every Way. I think it's a really big shift that you see in terms of Christine's character arc. It's kind of the first time that she tries, unsuccessfully, to stand up for herself, and I think that it right there leads to her actions for the rest of the show. It also, I think, shows that Christine has a better understanding of what's going on than anyone else, in that she fully comprehends the consequences of her actions and of the actions of those around her in relation to the Phantom. I think it's hauntingly beautiful. I just love it. It's what I sing all the time. I love a good male-male duet, and my favorite one of all time is Lily's Eyes from The Secret Garden. I'm not a huge Secret Garden fan, but I think that Lily's Eyes is one of the best male duets of all time. It's a stunning piece. I think, again, it's got that kind of hauntingly beautiful thing to it. I think there's so much going on character-wise in it that makes me really enjoy it. But again, just the music is great. And anytime a guy is doing a concert, like a musical theater gig, and he has another male guest. I'm always like, please let them do Lily's Eyes. Please let them do Lily's Eyes. I actually went to one of Harmony Krimlu's concerts in New York City a couple of summers ago, and he had Andrew Kober there with him as a guest, and they did Lily's Eyes, and as soon as the music started, I almost squealed because I was so excited because I love that song so much. That is part of whenever I was like picking songs for this list, I was like, okay, what is the song that every time someone does a concert, I'm like, please let them sing this song. Please let them sing this song. I hope this song's in it. And that's definitely one of them. And my final number 10 song that I had to include on this list, again, Great Comet was one that I really struggled with because there's so many songs that I love. Like, I think that The Duel is one of the coolest songs in musical theater of all time. I love No One Else. No One Else is probably actually maybe my favorite female solo of all time. Either that or All for Laura from The Woman in White. But it had to go to Dust and Ashes. Dust and Ashes, which was actually written for the Broadway production of Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812. It was added in after the pre-Broadway runs. And it's basically Pierre just having this big existential crisis in a way. But it's kind of Pierre coming to terms with where his life is and how he wants it to be different. And it's a song that's it's become intensely personal for me because I listened to it so much last year whenever I was kind of unsure what I was doing with my life. Felt like I made a lot of mistakes in what I'd studied in university and where my career was going. Felt like I kind of hit a dead end with all of my dreams and what I wanted to do. And it is the song that inspired me to apply to grad school in the UK and kind of inspired me that it's never too late to pick up and make yourself a second chance. And now I'm here in London, working in what I want to work in. And so for that, like, I'm really grateful for the song in many ways, but I also think it's just a beautiful song. And you can listen to Josh Groban sing it on the Cast album, and he just, like, Josh Groban as Pierre is one of my favorite performances I've ever seen, and him singing Dust and Ashes is just, it's beautiful. I cry whenever I listen to it. Still sometimes. I'll just be walking down the street listening and start crying. It's that good, so it had to be on the list. Well, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Do let me know, like I said before, what your favorite musical theater songs of all time are down in the comments below. You're probably going to say something if you comment on this, and I'm going to be like, oh my god, that's one of my favorites too. How did I not include it? But I would be really interested to hear what other people like. If you enjoyed this video, do give it a thumbs up because that will make my day and I think help me out with the algorithm or something. I don't really understand YouTube. But also, subscribe to my channel if you're not already, if you want to see more theater content coming to you every single week. And of course, I leave the links to my social media and to my blog down below if you'd like to check those out as well. Do give me a shout on Twitter or Instagram if you follow me and let me know that you've come from my YouTube channel. Alright, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you again next week. Bye! Never to forget you. Not when my life was changed forever the first time I met you. You're all I know, and though I've lost you, you're someone I can't let go of every living day. Okay, I'm not Ashley Stolburn.